John Candy as a romantic leading man. And it works. Only the Lonely, that came out in 1991, is a loose remake of Marty that came out in 1955 and starred Ernest Borgnine. When I hints the term loose, some changes were made. He plays Danny, a police officer living in Chicago, living with his mother, played by Maureen O'Hara. She loves her son. I wouldn't say she's domineering, but she just loves the idea he takes care of her and so forth. But that all changes when Danny meets Teresa, played by Ali Sheedy, a shy woman who works at a funeral parlor with her father. And when the romance blossoms and Danny gets Teresa out of her shell, what will come with his relationship with his mother? Will he let her go and put his relationship with Teresa first? Well, you're going to have to see the movie to find out. Now, before I get into the review, there's an interesting story I heard about on behind the scenes of this movie where Maureen O'Hara came out of retirement to do the movie. She loved the script and loved working with John Candy, but here's an interesting bit of trivia I heard. John Candy had a huge trailer, but Maureen O'Hara didn't have a big trailer, and John asked, "Why can't you get her just as big a trailer?" They said they don't have the money, and John was angry and decided to give Maureen O'Hara his trailer, and he took the small one. That just shows you what a generous guy John Candy was. Now, as for the rest of the movie was pretty good. I gotta say, I instantly bought the romance between John Candy and Ali Sheedy. I mean, it wasn't played for cheap laughs. You instantly try to buy that these two are in love and they're really committed to one another, and you instantly buy it immediately. It's not played for any sort of sitcomish like laughs and so forth. And Maureen O'Hara's character, I also liked because you kind of hate her at first, but then as the film goes on, you go to understand her a little better and why she is the way she is. And other supporting cast members do well too. Anthony Quinn is Nick, the Greek neighbor who's always trying to get a date with Maureen O'Hara's character. And what I find interesting is that Anthony Quinn is not really Greek. He's Mexican, and yet throughout his career he played a lot of Greek men. And not to mention, and there's also Kevin Dunn as Patrick, John Candy's younger brother, who is concerned about his decision and hope he's doing the right thing. And here's my only real complaint is that Jim Belushi. I mean, I wish they could have did more with him. It's a shame you see Jim Belushi's talent get wasted here. Not saying he and John Candy didn't have good chemistry, they do. But I'd like to see him do more with that. I mean, maybe if John Candy lived on, maybe they could have did more with that. But sad. And John and Jim were good friends off camera, and John worked with Jim's brother John Belushi on the set of the Blues Brothers movie. Isn't that an interesting bit of trivia? One of my favorite scenes is when Maureen O'Hara is yelling at John Candy, saying these awful things to him. It was kind of a scene very similar to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, when Steve Martin is yelling at John Candy and you see his face get sadder and sadder. I think John Candy does show he can pull off those dramatic elements. I mean, you've seen it in Splash and in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and he does it well here. I mean, John Candy proves wasn't just a comedic actor. He could do more than just get laughs. I mean, he does throw in some funny moments here, and when he does, they're pretty funny. I gotta say that. but he also shows he can do more. He was a very talented man, and he could do more with that. And I loved his romance with Ali Sheedy and also his scenes with Maureen O'Hara. So I give Only the Lonely 9 out of 10. Bye bye.